Hi guys, welcome back to the Book Brood. I'm Heidi, and today I want to talk about two trilogies that I've read recently that I absolutely adored. The first one is the Magician's Trilogy, and this is by Lev Grossman. I only own the first one. I listened to these on audiobook. It's The Magicians, The Magician King, and The Magician's Land. And I loved these. These are an adult fantasy, but almost urban fantasy, actually, at least the first one. So they are adult, which I really appreciated because they were able to deal with some more complex issues, I guess, than a lot of the YA that I've been reading lately. So this series follows Quentin Coldwater, and in the first one, I think he's about 18, and he's applying to college, and he is really smart and really socially awkward. He's a total nerd. He's very disillusioned with the world, and he's obsessed with his book series, and he wishes he, was in this book series of this magic land, basically kind of like Narnia, I guess, where these kids get pulled into this magic land. And this parallels really well since he gets swept up into this this magic school where he has to take a test and he gets accepted, and so he starts learning magic. And I think that's about as far as I want to go in synopsis, but I really enjoyed this. I love the magic system in this. I really appreciate that it takes a long time for them to learn magic, and they have to work really hard at it, and they have to use a lot of math to do these spells, and I don't know. As I'm rereading Harry Potter to my kids, I'm realizing that they don't actually use a lot of magic very often, and it's not really explained very well, and I really appreciate that in this, and then also Patrick Rothfuss's series, they actually kind of explain how the magic works. Anyways, really appreciated that. But this series is about found family and kind of not coming of age, but kind of growing into the person you want to be and the best person that you can be. And I loved it. I binged through it pretty quick. Highly recommend. The first one was the weakest in my opinion. It was like almost a 4-star read. It took me a really long time because there were sections that I really did not enjoy. There was like 5-star sections and then like 2-star sections, and kind of went every 20% of the audiobook. But the other two in the series were 5-star reads for me. Highly recommend. Oh, and then I watched the first season on Netflix, which I actually really liked, and I hope they put the rest of it on Netflix soon so I can watch it. And the next series that I binged through is, I don't know if you can see that, The Foxhole Court by Nora Sakavic. I think that's how you pronounce that. I think the trilogy is called All for the Game, which I can never remember. But this trilogy, it's so funny. I've heard people rave about how great this trilogy is for a long time, and I just kind of ignored them because I was hearing the same people saying the same things about how wonderful it is. And it wasn't until Julie over at Pages and Pens read the trilogy and absolutely hated it that I finally was compelled to pick it up. I was like, okay, so finally a different opinion. And for some reason, like, I needed to know which side of the fence I fell on. And I was shocked that I loved every single second of these books. Let's see, The Foxhole Court, The Raven King, and The King's Men, I think is the third one. And these are about college kids playing a sport called Exy or something like that. The author made up a new sport, and how obsessed they are with it, and how they sort of put the game ahead of like personal safety and anything else in their life. The main character is supposed to be hiding because like these organized crime gangsters are after him or whatever, but he goes into the spotlight to be able to play this, you know, his favorite game, and obviously gets the attention of the wrong people. Anyways, I freaking adored this series. I binged through it so hard. I lost so much sleep because I just could not function until I finished it. And I've been really fighting myself to do a reread. I want to reread it so bad. I'm trying to push through till January, and then I'll reread the trilogy. But this is obviously not for everyone. And I totally get why people would not like this. This is a book full of Slytherin characters. Not just morally gray, but like totally willing to do whatever is necessary to achieve their own goals, and that includes hurting other people, and doing just about anything, manipulating people to achieve their own means. And it's very selfish characters, just trying to do their own thing. I'm not explaining this at all. Anyways, I really love morally gray or villainous characters, anti-heroes, that kind of a situation. So this was totally up my alley. I loved it. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just that it's not for everyone, but I loved it. And these two trilogies were absolutely fantastic. And I will be back at you with another wrap-up soon. Goodbye.